Hey guys, what's up? This is Rahul and welcome to the second video of the series. This video is going to be a continuation of the first video that we made, and in this video we are going to talk about a couple of new topics, talk about a couple of new mindsets, right? So before we start the video, I have a couple of requests to make. So the first thing is, if you're new to the channel, then please take a moment to like, subscribe, comment, why did you come here, how did you find me, or comment what kind of videos do you want to see in the future. If you have been following me, then comment what kind of content do you want me to make, what kind of problems you want me to focus on. Also, one more thing that I want to ask you is that since I have a habit of making all my videos in English. The reason is because this is how I write my content. Everything that I read is in English. All the terms and all the concepts that I remember, that I know, that I understand, everything is in English. So it's easier for me to communicate in English. And that's why I just make all the videos in English, because it's just more convenient for me. But I'm thinking about making the videos in kind of a mixture of English and Hindi, right? Because if I look at other people's channel, for example, अगर मैं श्वेताब गैंगवार का चैनल देखूँ, अगर मैं प्रखर का चैनल देखूँ, अगर मैं बियर बाइसेप्स का चैनल देखूँ, अगर मैं किसी और का चैनल देखूँ, किसी भी बंदे का चैनल देखूँ, किसी भी यूट्यूबर का चैनल देखूँ जो कि सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट, जो कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी, पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट, थिंकिंग, माइंडसेट्स, इस फील्ड में वीडियो बनाता है, all of their videos are kind of in English and Hindi. Like I follow all these guys, and even for example, you guys might know Kshitij Sharawat from Iron Man Lifestyle. His videos are also kind of in a mixture of English and Hindi. Like also Sarhad Kalra, his videos are also kind of a mixture of English and Hindi. So Menoverse as a channel is going to focus on the topics that these guys talk about. I'm not simply going to talk about dating or one thing specifically. इस चैनल में हम एक वाइड रेंज ऑफ थिंग्स के बारे में बात करेंगे, राइट? We are going to talk about, basically what we are going to talk about is rationality, personal development, self-optimization, and developing the skill of thinking, developing the skill of critical thinking, developing the skill of independent thinking. इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में हम बात करेंगे. इस स्किल को तुम किसी भी एरिया में अप्लाई कर सकते हो, राइट? इफ़ यू आर इन डेटिंग, इफ़ यू आर इन कोल्ड अप्रोच, इफ़ यू वांट टू लर्न सोशल डायनामिक्स एंड तुम्हें अगर रिजल्ट्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं, और इफ़ यू आर इन एनी अदर फील्ड, इफ़ यू आर इन बिजनेस, और इफ़ यू आर इन कंटेंट क्रिएशन, इफ़ यू आर अ मैनेजर, इफ़ यू आर अ टीम लीडर, इफ़ यू आर अ CEO, इफ़ यू आर एनी काइंड ऑफ पब्लिक और कॉर्पोरेट लीडर, एंड अगर तुम्हें उस फील्ड में प्रोडक्टिविटी या ग्रोथ या प्रोग्रेस नहीं दिख रहा है, so the chances are that you're not using your brain properly. The chances are that you're making a lot of basic fundamental mistakes, right? So as you learn to think more critically, as you learn to use your brain, use your mind, right, you realize how many mistakes you have been making throughout your entire life. एंड हमारे चैनल का गोल है कि हमारा चैनल आपको हेल्प करे इन सब चीज़ों से निकलने में, राइट? सो व्हेन आई स्पीक हिंदी, आई एम गोइंग टू बी अ लिटिल बिट ऑकवर्ड बिकॉज आई हैव नॉट रियली मेड अ लॉट ऑफ कंटेंट इन हिंदी, एंड आई डोंट रियली टॉक इन हिंदी टू दैट मेनी पीपल. हाँ, मे बी अपने घर पे, मे बी अपने भाइयों से मैं कभी कभी हिंदी में बात करता हूँ, बट majority of the conversations that I have in my life are in English. Majority of the things that I write, that I speak, that I hear, that I think, that I listen, they're all in English. They're not in Hindi, right? So कभी कभी मैं confuse हो जाता हूँ कि मैं consumers को तुम्हें तुम या तू करके एड्रेस करूँ या आप और आपको करके एड्रेस करूँ, राइट? बट आई थिंक जैसे हम वीडियो बनाएंगे, जैसे जैसे चैनल बढ़ेगा, जैसे जैसे आई विल गेट मोर कंफर्टेबल with making these kind of videos and speaking in like a English English in a English way, I think we are going to become better, and I am going to become better, and the flow is going to also improve a lot. Okay, that being said, let's start the video. Let's get into the meat of the video. Let's see what today's video is going to be all about. Get your cup of coffee, get your notebooks, get your pen and paper, get anything, whatever you want to get, and let's dive into the video. ये वीडियो बहुत ही इन डेप्थ होगा. ये वीडियो काफ़ी इंसाइटफुल वीडियो होगा जिसमें हम अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव्स के बारे में बात करेंगे. ये पर्सपेक्टिव्स एक तरह से these things are thought experiments. Okay, these things are concepts, these things are mental concepts and thought experiments. So the reason I'm sharing this is so that you can learn, you can learn, like you can understand where you are and what are we trying to do and what are you going to get out of the channel. So basically I'm going to share 3 very powerful thought experiments, 3 very powerful mental concepts, like kind of a narrative, kind of a story, right? Understand that a thought experiment is simply like a movie. It's like a fantasy, right? It's something like you're creating a hypothetical world, right? It's like a simulation. That is called as thought experiment, right? And like being able to do thought experiments on your own is a very valuable skill in life. चाहे तुम किसी भी फील्ड में हो, राइट? तुम्हारे पास ये स्किल अगर है कि तुम इंडिपेंडेंटली थॉट एक्सपेरिमेंट कर सकते हो, then you are going to come up with some of the best ideas in that field. Okay, so we are going to talk about 3 important thought experiments, and these thought experiments are going to give you an idea of how your brain works, how the world works, what kind of mistakes you are making while navigating your way through the world, right? When you are trying to reach a goal, one second. Yeah, sorry guys, somebody kind of interrupted our party. So let's start again. Let's start from where we left off. So let's jump into the mindsets. Let's jump into what are the mindsets that we are going to talk about, right? The first mindset is the mindset of flawed lens, right? Understand what I'm talking about. The mindset of flawed lens. This is a lens, right? This is a lens, but this is a clean and clear lens. Imagine that you are having difficulty seeing. Imagine that you are having difficulty seeing clearly, like your vision is not clear, your vision is blurry. You go to a doctor, right? You complain to the doctor that, hey doctor, यार मेरे को अच्छे से दिख नहीं रहा है, राइट? मैं पढ़ नहीं पा रहा हूँ छोटी छोटी चीज़ें, या मैं दूर तक नहीं देख पा रहा हूँ, या मेरे को नज़दीक का नहीं दिख पा रहा है, मेरे को देखने में प्रॉब्लम हो रही है. ओके, सो डॉक्टर इज गोइंग टू चेक अप योर आई, अंडरस्टैंड what power should he give you, or understand what is the problem first, and according to that doctor is going to give you a lens, right? Doctor is going to give you a lens. Now imagine that if the doctor gave you a flawed lens. डॉक्टर ने तुम्हें एक खराब लेंस दे दिया, डॉक्टर ने एक तुम्हें पुराना घिसा हुआ लेंस दे दिया जिसमें छेद हैं, जिसमें दाग धब्बे हैं, लाइक लेंस क्लियर नहीं है, लेंस पे अलग अलग कलर के लाइक छींटे पड़े हुए हैं, राइट? लेंस इज जस्ट फक्ड अप, राइट? द लेंस इज ब्रोकन, द लेंस इज क्रैक्ड फ्रॉम डिफरेंट प्लेसेस, राइट? एंड द डॉक्टर इज गोइंग टू बी लाइक, भाई ये लो तुम्हारा नया लेंस, इस लेंस को लेके जाओ और तुम्हारी जिंदगी अच्छी हो जाएगी, तुम फिर से देखने लगोगे, यू विल बी एबल टू सी अगेन. For a second, just imagine that you don't know like what to do at this moment, and you take the lens, you use the lens, and you start living your life in the world, right? But since तुम्हारे लेंस में इतनी सारी खामियां हैं, इतने सारे फ्लॉज हैं कि तुम कुछ देख नहीं पा रहे हो, राइट? तुम बार बार सड़क पे गिर जा रहे हो, लाइक यू आर ट्रिपिंग ऑन थिंग्स. You're not able to recognize your friends and family even if they are standing in front of you because you're simply unable to see them, right? You're looking at a tree and you're like why is the tree blue? The tree is not blue. There is just your lens is fucked up. Your lens is not transparent. Your lens is not clear, right? It has it has marks of different colors all over, right? At some places it's blurred, at some places there are opaque points, right? There are cracks. So there are some things that you're seeing, like for example, there is a car going in front of you, but instead of seeing just one car, you're seeing three cars. Why? Because there are cracks in your lens, and you're trying to avoid the car, but you don't know which direction to go, because for you, for as far as your reality goes, there are three cars coming in front of you, right? That's fucked up. How are you going to live in the world? How are you going to do anything? Your day-to-day life is going to be fucking miserable, right? Like हर दिन तुम्हारा एक्सीडेंट होगा, हर दिन तुम सीढ़ियों से गिरोगे, हर दिन like you'll not be able to recognize like a lot of people that pass you by, right? That's not the way to live, right? If you have any sense, you're going to go back to the doctor and you're going to be like, bro, what the fuck have you given me? Like मेरे को एक अच्छा clear lens दो जो कि reality को distort ना करे, right? जो कि reality को fuck up ना करे. I want to see the reality clearly for me to function in the reality, for me to take any kind of action, for me to do, for me to go from one place to another place in reality, right? So मेरे को एक अच्छा clear functional fresh lens दो, right? That improves the flaws in my eyes and that helps me see the reality as it is. It does not distort the reality. Okay. So our brain, last video में हमने बात करी थी. If you haven't watched the last video, I highly recommend, like if you want to understand everything that we're going to talk about in the series, I highly recommend that you go back and start from the first video. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit boring. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit like, oh my god, yaar, क्या बात कर रहा है? Sometimes it's going to be a little bit repetitive, right? But all things that are difficult to understand are a little bit boring, are a little bit repetitive. So if you really care about your thinking, you really care about your mind, you really care about understanding reality, understanding yourself, go back and start from the very basic, right? Start from the video 1. There are going to be a lot of videos in the series, right? And treat the entire video, like treat this entire playlist and the coming playlists as like a season of Game of Thrones, right? Like you don't want to miss the first season and directly go to the third season. You will not understand what the fuck is happening. So in the same way, I highly recommend you that if you are interested, right, you don't have to watch the video right now. जब भी तुम्हारे पास टाइम है, जब भी तुम्हारे पास आधा एक घंटा टाइम है, sit down and आराम से वीडियो देखो. आराम से वीडियो देखो, आराम से वीडियो को एक दो बार देखो, समझने की कोशिश करो. अगर कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो कमेंट करो. I'm going to reply to all the comments. I'm going to provide you resources, I'm going to provide you blog, I'm going to provide you blog, I'm going to provide you links for books, etc. so that you will be able to understand this better, right? Especially if you are somebody who is in a place of power, who is in a place of responsibility, right? Like if you are a 21-year-old guy whose biggest problem in life is, यार मेरी एक फ्रेंड है लेकिन वो मेरी क्रश है, मैं उसको किस करना चाहता हूँ लेकिन कैसे करूँ? Maybe for you, a lot of these videos are not going to be immediately helpful because you are very hormonally active right now. You are very hormonally and emotionally charged, right? You are like a fiery ball of hormone. तुम्हारा दिमाग वैसे भी काम नहीं करेगा अभी, unless and until थोड़ा stable हो तुम जिंदगी में. तुम्हारा दिमाग वैसे भी काम नहीं करेगा, तुम अच्छे से भी सोच नहीं पाओगे because your emotions are going to take over. It is your responsibility to not let your emotions take over, but your emotions are for the most part going to take over. And if you are young, it's okay. If you are if you are young, it's okay. If you're young, that's fine. Go ahead and have fun, bro, right? But if you are at a place of power, if you have a family to take care of, if you are in a position of leadership, let's say like if you are the team leader in your company, if you are a manager in your company, right? If you are running a small business, or if you're running a big business, if you are if you have a shop, if you have a small business or personal brand of your own, if you are a coach, right? If you are a coach, like if you're a fitness coach, if you're a dating coach, if you are a lifestyle coach, if you are any kind of coach, understanding these concepts is super duper fucking important for you. It's extremely important for you. Okay? Don't give me the argument that भाई तेरे पास तो 1000 सब्सक्राइबर्स ही हैं, थोड़े से 1000 से ज़्यादा सब्सक्राइबर्स हैं, मेरे पास भाई 1 लाख सब्सक्राइबर्स है, मेरे पास लाइक 10 लाख सब्सक्राइबर्स है, मैं तेरी बात क्यों सुनूं? Bro, like if that is your argument, that's a very fucked up argument. Like, wow, like that's a very fucked up argument, right? Just because something is popular, it doesn't make it right. Right? There was a time when a lot of stupid ideas were popular, like ideas that women should not go to work, women should not be allowed out of the house. That was a very popularly accepted idea at a time, right? Understand that all the new concepts and all the new ideas are a little bit dangerous. जो भी नया आइडिया होता है वो तुम्हारी आइडेंटिटी को, तुम्हारे थॉट प्रोसेस को, तुम्हारे वर्ल्ड व्यू को थोड़ा थ्रेटन करेगा. All ideas, all good new ideas are dangerous. That's why they are powerful, right? This is why ideas are powerful, because ideas have the power to disrupt your entire life. Like, right? Do you understand me? So, 300 years ago, for somebody who used to believe that God made the world in 7 days and Earth is the center of the universe, the idea that Earth is really not the center of the universe, neither the sun is the center of the universe, and everything that we are, like life and human beings are right now, this is just a lucky coincidence. This is just a crazy set of accidents that happened over tens of millions of years ago, over billions of years ago, right? There is none, you are not special. There is no, if a rat does not die and go to heaven or hell, why do you think that you are going to go to heaven or hell? No, you're not going to go to heaven or hell. There is no heaven and hell. For a deeply religious person, this idea can be extremely, extremely problematic, right? For somebody who believes in technology, right? Seeing that the progress, technological progress that is happening is doing so much damage to the world, is doing so much damage to the environment, to the psychology, to the mental health of the entire population as a whole. For them to admit that, what, a lot of the new problems are caused by the advancement in technology. So technology जैसे advance कर रही है, जैसे progress कर रही है, if a technology solves one problem, it creates 100 new problems. Understanding this idea for somebody who is who believes that technology is going to make the world better, right? Who believes that technology is the answer, the end answer to everything. For him, this is a very dangerous idea to accept and believe in, right? But just because an idea is dangerous, it doesn't make it right. Just because you don't want to believe that Earth, is not flat, it doesn't mean the Earth is actually flat. Just because you don't like the idea that the universe is lifeless and the universe doesn't give a fuck about you, it doesn't change anything. Like, there is no part of the universe who is like, oh my god, like इस बंदे की थोड़ी हेल्प कर देते हैं यार, इस बंदे को थोड़ा सपोर्ट दे देते हैं लाइफ. नहीं bro, this is a fucked up idea. There are so many people who are amazing, good, absolutely good people who are just sitting in their house, right, somewhere in the world, and somebody, just because of a war is happening, right, somebody drops a bomb in their area and the entire family just vanishes like in 1 second, right? वो कहाँ जाएंगे? Are they going to go in heaven or hell, right? The universe didn't care about them. So like these kind of ideas, anyways, थोड़ा मैं digress हो रहा हूँ topic से. We are going to talk about these kind of ideas, but right now I want to stick to the topic. The topic is of flawed lens, right? Flawed lens, एक lens जिसमें खामियां हैं, right? So our brain is also a reality interpretation machine, right? The basic job of our brain is try to make sense of what happened in the past, is try to make sense of where we are right now and what's happening right now, and trying to understand what is the best course of action that we can take in order to reach our goals or in order to achieve our values, right? So this is what the basic job, the most fundamental job of our brain is. Reality को interpret करना. जैसे my power is -4, without my glasses, I can't really see that well. Like if you tell me like, hey bro, let's play cricket without my glasses, मैं ball को नहीं देख पाऊंगा. I'm just going to be swinging in air, right? I'm just going to be swinging here and there, but I will not be able to see the ball because I cannot see reality unless and until this lens, my glasses, interpret the reality for me to see clearly. The same is the job of your brain. I hope इतना clear है. Now moving forward. तो हमारे लेंस में बहुत सारे इनबिल्ट फ्लॉज हैं, राइट. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर तुम लाइक एक कंजर्वेटिव हिंदू फैमिली से बिलोंग करते हो, अगर कंजर्वेटिव हिंदू, मुस्लिम, क्रिश्चियन, लाइक टू बी ऑनेस्ट, इफ यू आर कंजर्वेटिव इन एनी रिलीजन, यू आर गोइंग टू हैव वेरी बेसिक रूल्स, राइट. अगर तुम कंजर्वेटिव हिंदू हो, राइट, तो तुम्हारे वैल्यूज लाइक लाइक वुमेन शुड कवर देयर हेयर. The same is going to be if you are a Muslim, that women should cover their hair. The same is going to be if you are a Christian, if you are a conservative Christian. Like, you should dress modestly. Like, you should not show your skin, you should not show your body. Your body is pure. Like, purity is going to be valued. If you are, like, let's say born in some other, like if you're born in Russia, like let's say if you're born in Siberia, right, the temperature is minus 40, minus 50 degrees Celsius. You do not have the luxury of being a vegan there because no vegan food is available there. There are no plants. There is no mango. There is no tomato that naturally occurs there, right? Your diet is going to be consistent heavily of meat, fish, milk, and nuts. Like this is your diet is going to be very protein heavy, fat heavy, right? So वहाँ पे अलग values होंगे, right? With somebody who is born in Rajasthan or somebody who is born in like Africa, the values are going to be different. The value change. So depending upon which religion you are born to, what kind of political inclination your family is or your people are, right? Which area of the world you were born into, right? Depending upon what was the relationship status, how healthy was the relationship between mom and your dad, how close were you to your friends, etc. What was your genetic makeup, like were you an introvert or were you an extrovert, were you a highly ambitious person or whether you are more artistic. Like all of these things are defined the moment you take birth. The moment you come out, like when you're delivered in the hospital, when you make your first cry, all these things are already predefined. Your personality is set, your DNA is set, your genes are already set. There is a little bit of control that you have over that, right? Like you can work very hard to activate new genes. Like new genes activate according to different environments. So if you put in yourself in different kind of environment, new genes are going to get activated. New DNA sequences are going to get activated depending upon what kind of environment you have put yourself into. So in a way, you can change yourself, but you'll be able to change maybe like 2 or 3 things about yourself. As a whole, the rest of the things are going to be predetermined for you. There is nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do to change that. Okay? All these things, all these ideologies, social conditioning, they distort our vision of reality, just like a lens, a flawed lens, a fucked up, distorted, broken lens distort your vision, right? So all these things, all these mental lenses through which you see the world, right? If you are born poor, you might have a belief system that rich people are evil and rich people are taking from you to get rich. Jabki that is not the reality. If you are born rich, you are going to have a different set of perspective. You are going to come from a different set of perspective, right? You're going to come from a different set of perspective. So these things distort your vision, distort your understanding of reality. So तुम reality को अच्छे से समझ नहीं सकते unless and until you truly peel off all the layers of social conditioning, right? This is why I say that. This is why people say don't be conditioned. Ideology is the enemy of rationality. Like ideology is like a virus. Once an idea gets into your head, right? Any kind of ideology is like a virus. An ideology that, for example, uh, a person who was born up like Hindu, let's say, like just give an example, for a person that was born up in a Hindu, and he is now eating pork and beef. You follow the ideology that Hindu should not eat pork and beef, right? For the most part, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है इस ideology को follow करने में, आराम से follow करो ideology, right? But the moment you enter more nuanced ideology, like for example political ideologies, right? Like the South India versus North India, like agar you're a South Indian and if you are like, all North Indians are trying to do is they are trying to capture our culture and they are trying to distort and they are trying to ruin our culture. When you start to see the world like that, when you start to believe that vaccines are like conspiracy theories, like vaccines are harmful, vaccination is like a strategy of the government to control you. Once you start believing all this shit, right, like your life starts going in a completely different direction, which is detached from reality. So you don't want to do that. So this is the first mindset, this is the first big idea, this is the first big thought experiment, understanding that your lens is flawed. Your brain, like the way you are interpreting the world, the way you are seeing the world is flawed. You're not seeing the world for what it is, right? Because of your belief systems, because of your values, because of your experiences, you are seeing the world as how you want to see it, right? Like if you believe in something, like there is another saying that people don't see what the reality is, people see what they want to see. People see what they people hear what they want to hear. People believe or people do what they want to do. It is all based on your belief systems. It is all based on how or what kind of belief systems you have, right? And a smart person or intelligent person or a successful person is somebody who is able to like kind of detach the belief systems from reality, and he's able to take his belief system, right, just like a flawed lens, and fix it so that the beliefs that he has resembles reality more accurately. Your beliefs might never resemble reality exactly, but your beliefs can be made more accurate. You can be less wrong every day. You can be more accurate every day, right? And that's what I think one of the most important goal of education and one of the most important goal of self-education and self-help is, right, is to fact check all your beliefs, is to make sure that your beliefs are not faulty, your beliefs resemble reality, right? Your beliefs map on to reality as closely as possible. This was the first thought experiment. Now let's jump into the second thought experiment. Give me a second. The second thought experiment is going to be the experiment of self optimization. इस टॉपिक के बारे में मैं पिछले वीडियो में थोड़ा सा मैंने बात किया है, राइट, बट इस वीडियो में थोड़ा और इन डेप्थ बात करेंगे. I'll try to not digress a lot. I'll try to be like straight on the topic, so please focus. Now imagine that you are in a car race, right? You have worked very hard, you have invested a lot of money, you have invested a lot of time and energy to participate in a car race, right? Now what you want ideally is you want to win the car race. You want to come at rank 1, and you want to come to the top of the car race, right? But even if you don't come like to the absolute top, even if you come at the top 3, that's good enough, right? That's good enough, that's great. Okay, now let's say you are going to compete in the car race, right? So what is the first thing you're going to do? The first thing you're going to do is what kind of race you are competing in, right? What kind of race? Are you competing in a Formula 1 race? Are you competing in a rally race? Are you competing in a NASCAR race? Are you competing in a like kind of a drifting race? Are you competing in like a off-road race? What kind of race are you competing in? Once you understand that, then the second question you have to ask yourself is, what kind of car do I have, right? Do I have a supercar? Do I have a SUV? Do I have a Formula One car? Do I have a truck? Do I have a drag race car? What kind of car do I have? The third question you're going to ask yourself is, can I modify my car or can I optimize my car to perform with that specific kind of race? Now let's say that you are going to, like, you want to win a race. Like, let's say you want to win a Formula One race, but if you look into your garage, you have a SUV, right? The only two things you can do is, first, sell that SUV, put some extra money and buy a Formula One car, so that you can compete in Formula One race. Competing in a Formula One race with a SUV is stupid as fuck. इससे अच्छा भाई अपने पैसे बचा लो, रेस ही मत करो. Because if you're going to do something like this, then you know that you're going to lose, that you are asking for a loss, you're asking to waste your time, money, energy, knowing that you're going to lose. So there are only two things you're going to lose, and two things that you're going to do. पहला कि या तो अपनी एसयूवी बेच के थोड़े और पैसे लगा के एक अच्छा फॉर्मूला वन कार खरीदो, नहीं तो रेस चेंज करके एक ऑफ रोड रेस या एसयूवी रिलेटेड रेस में जाओ जहां पे तुम्हारे जीतने के चांसेस ज़्यादा हों, राइट? जहां पे तुम्हारे जीतने के चांसेस ज़्यादा हों. बिकॉज इन लाइफ and also in a car race, you cannot win all kinds of races, right? You cannot have a car that will win Formula One, that will win like a rally race, that will win an off-road race, that will win a drag race. You cannot have one kind of car that can win every race, right? If you optimize your car for like Formula One, right? If you have a Formula One car, there is a thing called it as trade-off. The more aerodynamic, the more fast, the more light, right? The more like better handling you're going to put in your car, the less your car is going to become durable. Your car is going to become less durable. And the more durable you make your car, for example, like off-road SUV is very durable, right? It can go through ups and downs, it can go on rocks, it can go through water. A Formula One car cannot go through like a river. An SUV can go through a river, a Land Rover, a good modified, high-powered Range Rover, right, or Thar. These cars can go through like very, very rough areas, where a supercar or a Bugatti Veyron cannot go through that area, right? So every car is optimized differently. In the same way, in life you have different kind of races, right? So you have to understand what you're trying to optimize yourself for. Right? And what are some basic races in life? Now, I'm not saying that life is a race. I'm not saying that life is a race and your entire purpose in life is to try to win, right? Is try to win in all the races. Like I'm not saying that, but in a lot of sense, like in a lot of areas, life is like a race. For example, if you're in college, life is a race, right? You have to try to perform well, you have to try to get a good job, you have to try to you have to have social skills so that you can make good bondings with your professors, with your college directors, with people who are like popular, people who have power. You also have to make friends with other people who are like you, who have the same vision, who have the same mentality like you, so that you can start businesses with them later, or they can become good friend of yours. These are the two main important. The third thing is, you have to understand whatever subject you are studying very well, so that you can perform well in exams, you can get a good grade, you can get good GDP, so that your chances of getting into a good position in a job are higher, so that you can get like high paying jobs, right? So if you are in college, you are going to optimize your life differently, right? So let's say college is one area, studies, academic success is one race or one game of your life. Another game of your life is your social or dating or relationship game, right? Like trying to make friends, trying to hang out with friends, trying to practice and improve your social skills, your social dynamics, trying to find a girl worth dating or a guy worth dating and getting into a relationship on a hope, on a projection that this relationship might work, this relationship is good for me, right? A lot of people make these kind of decisions emotionally, and I'm not blaming them, right? Because love can distort reality very, very strongly, right? You can fall in love with the wrong person and you can end up getting so fucked up and so hurt. And I know a person, right, who fell in love with a girl. He maintained a long distance relationship for 9 years. 9 fucking years. He kept waiting. And then the girl married somebody else. Now imagine, like, what the fuck he must be feeling. So, making decisions emotionally is human, is understandable, right? I have sympathy if you are very emotional. I am also a very emotional person. This is why I am trying to work and I'm trying to teach you how to make decisions more logically and rationally, right? So, you have to optimize yourself to win in the race that you have chosen to participate. If you're a software developer, your one of your goals might be to work in like a big company, like work in the top 5 companies, right? Like Google, or you want to work for OpenAI, you want to work for Tesla. If you're a cricketer, then your goal might be to like join the Indian cricket team as soon as possible. If you're an actor, then your goal might be to start coming in movies and performing in such a way that you get better and better roles, right? So what are you trying to optimize your life for? You have to understand that, right? This is called personal development. This is the core of personal development. And if you optimize your life for one thing, let's say that you are a sports person, right? And if you want to optimize your life for extremely high level of athletic output, and like extremely high level of health, feel like you, and trying to get selected into some team as soon as possible, you need to have a certain set of skills that are going to make you very good in one thing, but those same skill sets are going to make you very bad in other things, right? Understand that there are a lot of skills in life that cannot be translated very well from one area to another area. For example, a player who plays lawn tennis at a professional level, like should be good at playing table tennis too, right? You're going to be like lawn tennis and table tennis are kind of the same game. You have the same motions, you have the same things, the same points. It's very similar, right? So you would think, or you would imagine that ideally somebody who is very good in tennis should also be very good at table tennis, or somebody who is good at table tennis should also be very good at lawn tennis. But no, there is something called as trade-off, right? Like an optimization. Like if you optimize your car for Formula One race, then your car becomes very, very, very bad for other types of races, right? So not only you are not suitable for other races, if you try to do other races, you are going to actively destroy your car. The same thing with life. If you're trying to optimize, like for example, I want to be like a big YouTuber, I want to be like a author, I want to public speak, I want to travel around the entire world, I want to talk to some very, very smart people, I want to learn from them, right? I want to read a lot, I want to learn a lot, I want to make courses. So I am trying to optimize my life in such a way that I have as much time needed to work on my craft, to work on my videos, to work on the content, right? I don't want to work a 12-hour shift where I come home exhausted and I never read anything, I never learn anything, I never make any content. Because that is going to not help me achieve the goal that I want to, right? So, being a YouTuber like has its certain challenges. Like being an athlete has its certain challenges. Being somebody who does a 9 to 5 job has a certain challenge. And I'm not saying one thing is better or worse than anything else. I respect all professions. I respect whether you are a 9 to 5 worker, whether you are an Uber driver, whether you have a shop, whether you are a CEO of a business, whatever the fuck works for you, wherever you are winning consistently, whatever makes you happy, bro, go ahead and do it, right? So yeah, self-optimization. You have to understand how you're going to optimize yourself. And a lot of times, like skills, for example, cold approach. Cold approach is the art of going out and talking to random people. If you are very good at cold approach, the chances are that your skills of developing friendships and maintaining social circles is going to drop a little bit. If you're very good at cold approach, and if you do cold approach very regularly, if you go out and meet people, talk to people very regularly, please understand that this skill is not going to translate in other areas of your life. Okay, just like like a person who runs marathon and a person who is a sprinter or a hurdle runner, like, these skills are completely different. They look the same, right? But these skills are completely different. The same thing with playing chess. A lot of people think that यार chess एक ऐसा game है ना जो अगर मैं खेलूंगा तो I'm going to become smart in every area of my life, right? And they are also going to be like scientists have also researched on this, so there is some data. But no, those research papers are wrong. That is not actually true. Like, playing a lot of chess makes you good in chess. It doesn't make you good in every area of your life. The same thing with anything else, right? So you have to understand and you have to clarify to yourself. You have to have a lot of clarity that in which area for what are you trying to optimize your life for? What are you trying to achieve? What is your goal? What do you want to get out of doing all this work? There is no other way. You have to know this. And whatever you decide, whatever you decide to pursue, whatever you decide to chase, you have to optimize yourself. You have to optimize your time. You have to optimize your day. You have to optimize your week. You have to optimize yourself and your mind to achieve that in the most effective way. To achieve that in the most time effective, resource effective, and energy effective way. Okay. Now moving to the third thought experiment, or moving to the third concept. This concept is going to be about wisdom and foolishness. Okay. Imagine that you are in a dark room. Imagine that I take you in the night, right? In the night, I take you somewhere in a completely dark room. Let's say it's a flat, right? It's a big house. It's completely dark. There is no electricity. There is no light. You can't see anything. You have no torch. You have nothing. And you have never ever been in this room in your life. You have never heard about this room. You have never been into this room. You have no idea whatsoever कि इस room में क्या हो रहा है भाई, right? Let's say if I take you to that room, if I take you to that house in complete darkness, where you can't see anything and you have no idea about, you have never been to this room before, and I tell you that bro, go and find me a phone charger, right? What are you going to do? What's going to happen with you? Think. First of all, you would have no idea how many rooms are there in that house. So you don't know, like, whether you are looking for 3 rooms or whether you are looking for like at a 5-story building, and you might have to go for like through 50 rooms in order to search a charger. You have no idea, right? You have no idea where the table is going to be kept, where the kitchen is going to be. You have no idea at anything. And remember that you are operating in complete darkness, in complete ignorance. You have never been to this room before. So you have no idea तुम किस डायरेक्शन में जा रहे हो, क्या कर रहे हो. तुम्हें कोई आइडिया नहीं है कि सीढ़ी कहाँ पे है, तुम्हें कोई आइडिया नहीं है लिफ्ट कहाँ पे है, तुम्हें कोई आइडिया नहीं है कि अगर ज़मीन पे कुछ लगा, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर ज़मीन पे पानी गिरा हुआ है, and if you go in that direction you can slip and fall and you can hurt your head, right? And you can injure yourself, you can break your leg, you can break your arm, you can crack your skull. What? Like, you have no idea if there is anything broken, like if you for example touch anything, maybe उसमें से current आ रहा हो, तुम्हें electricity लग जाएगी. You have no idea, right? So what's going to happen if you don't know anything about this room? If you have never been in this room, then you're going to go out and you're going to hurt yourself a lot. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to make a lot of wrong decisions. You're going to take a lot of wrong direction. You will have basically no idea how to navigate through this, right? You would have no idea how to navigate through this. You might find the charger in 1 hour, or you might not be able to find the charger for a week straight because of so many accidents and because of so many wrong turns. Now imagine that there are a couple of people who have been in that house, in the dark house, and who have explored the dark house, just like you, blindfolded, without knowing it, without seeing it. They have also hurt themselves. They have also explored the entire house, and now they have some idea, right? So imagine there are three people. One person has explored, like the first floor. The other person has explored the second floor. The third person has explored the third floor, and all of them are talking. All of them are talking and sharing ideas with each other. One person says that, bro, you know what? In every floor, the stairs are at the at the front left corner. If you get to be a part of that group, you will have so much better idea कि इस अंधेरे घर में जाने के बाद क्या करना है, किस डायरेक्शन में जाना है, right? Some people might be like, you know what, most of the electronics is kept on the first floor corner room. So now you have some idea, now you have some direction. Okay, like go straight, go left, take the stairs, go to the first floor, then go in the corner room, and then try to find. Now you still have to explore, but your area of exploration has been cut significantly. Your area of exploration has been shortened significantly. This is what you want, right, in life. You don't want your search area to be infinite. Like if you're finding for a good partner, you don't want your search area to be infinite. You want to define what kind of life partner I want to. What are my values? What are my goals? What kind of relationship I want to build in the future? Depending upon this, you have to narrow your search, right? You have to narrow your search, and you have to disregard a lot of ways of acting or behaving that don't take you towards your goal, okay? That don't help you move towards your goal. You have to discard a lot of those ideas, right? You have to discard, like as we talked about in the previous two thought experiments, you have to discard a lot of those ideas. You have to discard a lot of false beliefs, false understanding of the world, right? Like for example, you're going to learn later in life that a lot of the success in life comes from knowing the right people and being at the right time at the right place. A lot of success comes in life like that, right? A lot of the people you see, a lot of the reasons you see so many millionaires, so many people, who are boasting about themselves, they don't exactly know how they become successful. They might have a fucked up story in their head. They might have some kind of narrative कि भाई मैंने ऐसे 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 किया तब मैं जाके सक्सेसफुल बना, तब मैं जाके इतना रिच बना, तब मैं जाके इतना फेमस बना. But if you try to follow the same steps, you'll not be able to follow that, because for every person the life is a little bit different. Like a lot of the things, yes, are similar, but for every person life is a little bit different, and that little bit of difference is a very big thing, right? So now imagine that you talk to these people first, right? You understand from talking to them what is the structure of the building, like how many rooms are there, which is a direction that you should avoid, what kind of sounds you should be aware of. Like if you see that sound or if you hear that sound, don't move in the direction, move in the opposite direction. So once you understand that, now when you go into the house, you're going to have a much better idea of what to do and what not to do. Isn't that amazing? Life is also like that in a lot of ways. Like in life, this is also true. You are randomly born, in a city, in a state, in a country, to a set of parents, in a religion, in a society, in a colony, at a certain time period. You're randomly born with completely random sets of, like skill sets and flaws and, predispositions, and you're completely unique. You're a completely unique soup of chemicals than all other human beings, and you have no control over it. You could have been born in Nazi Germany as a Jew, right? Or you could have been born as, like the son of Michael Jordan, right? There is no achievement in this. You have not done anything to be born in like the most wealthy the most peaceful, the most successful country in the world, or a completely shitty third world country? You have no idea, right? You have no idea. And if your parents are fucked up, if your parents are also a failure in life, sorry to be harsh, but yeah, a lot of people, a lot of parents are like don't do a good job of being a parent. So if a lot of parents, like if your parents are, like in an unhealthy marriage, you are born into a unhealthy family, right? It's not your fault. You can't do anything. Like your dad comes home in the night, drunk, and beats your brother, beats your mom, and goes to bed, and everybody is simply scared. And you go through this kind of life for like 12, 15 years, and then you run away somewhere. You had no idea. You had no control over that, right? Life is also like a huge dark room, and you are like a completely blind person standing in the middle of it. The best you can hope for is to read a couple of books and be like, oh, you know what, other successful people did this and this. Oh, if I do that, maybe I'll also become successful. But a lot of people, when they write books, they exaggerate almost everything to sell the book better, right? To sell the book better. They make things look more dramatic than they are in real life, or than they were in real life. And a lot of the things that happen for them may be because of luck, because of pure luck, pure chance, right? A lot of the things happen to them because of pure chance. And well, that's amazing. Luck is a very big factor in life, but what are you going to do about it? What if you follow the same thing and you don't become successful? Who are you going to complain to? Who is going to listen to you? Are you going to complain to God? Is God going to give you a better way to live? Has God given your parents or your relatives or your friends a better way to live? No. If a God exists, I don't think that is his job. He's like, bro, मैंने तुझे एक fully functional brain दिया है, जो कि अभी तक one of the most complex and powerful things in the entire universe. Our brain is considered as one of the most complex and powerful object in the entire universe. ये 1.5 किलो का जो मीट है ना तुम्हारे स्कल के अंदर, this. So what are you going to do? And there are a lot of things like hindsight bias, right? What is hindsight bias? Hindsight bias is that, like for example, you are doing something different and everybody is making fun of you. Everybody is like, oh my god, bro, don't do that. You are going to be a failure. You're going to regret that. But then one day you become successful. Everybody says that I always knew that you're going to be successful. But they did not. They never knew. It was a hindsight bias. So take these three concepts: the concept of self-optimization, right? The concept of flawed lens, and the concept of wisdom and foolishness, the concept of being in a dark room, and add all these things together and realize, like, the only thing you can truly control in the entire life, in the entire universe, is your mind. Apart from that, you cannot control anything. You cannot control your the way your body is built. You cannot control like whether your mind is going to be predisposed to depression or anxiety or like whatever. So तुम्हें कुछ नहीं पता. The only thing that you can control is installing like good thinking systems, installing good thinking models, mental models, installing the right mindsets in your mind, so that you can be immune to a lot of social conditioning, a lot of delusion, a lot of ignorance, a lot of confirmation bias, and just the bandwagon effect, doing what everybody else is doing. And you can make independent decisions. You can see the reality for what the reality is, and you can actually make good decisions. You can actually move towards what you want to achieve. You can live a good, happy, prosperous, healthy life without hurting yourself too much, without making a lot of mistakes in life, without failing a lot in life. So, thank you for watching today's video. If you like the video, then please take a moment to subscribe. Please comment your thoughts. Let me know what are the things that I'm talking about interest you. Let me know और क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं जिसके बारे में तुम बात करना चाहते हो, जिसके बारे में तुम डिस्कस करना चाहते हो, लाइक और किस किस टॉपिक्स पे तुम मेरे को वीडियो बनाना लाइक तुम चाहते हो कि मैं वीडियो बनाऊँ. Let me know all this. Share this video with your friends and family because the best thing about rationality is if people around you are also rational, also critical thinkers, they are going to stop you from making wrong decisions. They are going to be less hateful, they are going to be less stupid. That's going to be better for you, for them, and for me, for everybody else as a whole. So if you are learning rationality, if you are learning about the skill and the power of rationality, logical thinking, mental models, mindset, then it should also be your responsibility to help your friends, your people learn this thing too. Because this is not something that you cannot learn. Your brain is completely equipped to understand everything that I'm saying. Your brain is completely equipped to do this. It's just that लोग थोड़े lazy होते हैं, right? लोगों को instant entertainment चाहिए, and that is the reason a lot of people don't really do a very good job at this. So thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe, like, I've already said that. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. If you want to ask me any question, you can join my groups. All the links are going to be in the description. And wait for the next video. And I'm going to see you next time, next week. Take care. Bye-bye.